with the government and Health Canada and the technology industry in general.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I don't have much sympathy for that point of view. And we've got very effective public health authorities here, and you have to believe in some institutions. If you can't believe Health Canada, now they could be underestimating the risks, but they're not completely wrong. There isn't sufficient evidence. And I think what we've learned as a result of the circumstances in Simcoe County is that we've got to be more vigilant and be more conscious of it. And I think parents are well within their rights to ask when they go to a school, do you have wireless electronic communications or computer systems, or do you have wired? I think that's what's going to happen out of this. Parents are going to get more choices, I believe. This is what's been the pattern in public education. That's why the system exists, to allow parents to give their views. So I'm an independent voice in education, and I'm saying be wise, look into it carefully, but as far as I'm concerned right now, and the evidence is accumulating, there isn't a risk to kids.
What I wanted to ask you, Paul, we're talking about the dangers of, I guess, the radiation in the air from Wi-Fi. Well, what's the difference if you're sitting at a computer with a modem, you're right next to it? What would be is there much of a electromagnetic difference between a hardwired modem that you're sitting next to with your computer or having a laptop wireless?
There's more evidence about close proximity to cell phones. There's actually more research to support the dangers of having a cell phone at your ear. That's about as close as it gets. And I frankly think there's more to be gained from looking at that. But that's a larger issue. And, when it comes to children, we're all very, very conscious of wanting to protect them. One of the trustees from Simcoe County, they're really caught in the middle. They're between a rock and a hard place because many of them, their first priority is the kids, and they were confused when this all came. But on my blog, one of the trustees came in and said, the moment I think that it's going to be harmful to the kids, I'm going to be in favor of pulling it out. But the only people that are recommending it don't really have all that much behind them.
Talking with Dr. Paul Bennett, Director of Schoolhouse Consulting. We have to get to a break. Mike will be up next when we return on CFAX 1070.
Challenging you to sound off. Straight Talk. Afternoons with Adam Sterling. Weekdays 3 to 6 on CFAX 1070. It's back and
talking with Dr. Paul Bennett, Director of Schoolhouse Consulting, talking about the issue of Wi-Fi here in our schools. And I want to go back to the phone bar because we have a jam board, and I mentioned Mike is up next. Go ahead, Mike.
Hi. I would just like to draw an example to like a microwave and radios and cell phones. I work with a radio at work, and whenever I turn on the microwave, the radio goes static. And the same with my BlackBerry. When I put it up close to the radio and it starts transmitting and receiving, you can't hear nothing on the radio. And my point is that we're constantly being bombarded by this radiation wherever we go. And it's like gas. We're not getting rid of it now. We're addicted to it. We need it, right? But I still think that schools should be a safe place, and we should err on the side of caution, at least until we've studied it more, and let the kids at least be safe. It's not like we're taking a huge chunk out of the market for these companies or whatever, so let's just keep the kids safe.
Thanks for the call, Mike. He brought up a good point when we look at this, Paul. The issue of radiation, it's all around us. As you mentioned, cell phones, wireless landlines, Wi-Fi, we really can't escape it. So should we really be that concerned with the schools?
I will repeat what I've said before, Dave. I think this is an overreaction. EMFs, electromagnetic fields, are everywhere, from microwaves to laptops to cell phones. And the very people that are saying this are probably carrying around cell phones and sending their kids to school with cell phones. I would be the first one to say, let's pull them out if there's conclusive evidence. One thing I think that will come out of this is schools that are wired and not wireless are probably going to hold off. And I would recommend that until the evidence is clear. But there isn't really anything so far to suggest that we need to unplug the Wi-Fi systems.
Let's go back to the phone boards. We have Sharon on the line. I wonder if it's Sharon Noble. Go ahead, Sharon.
Yes, I'm. Thank you for.
It is Sharon Noble.
Yes, it is.
Okay, welcome back. What's your question or comment?
Well,
I'd love to hear it.
I have so many. I don't know where to start.
I know, but unfortunately, we probably only get one or two in.
One of the first ones was when Mr. Bennett, said that Dr. Havas is a fringe scientist. This is a term that many of the industry people are throwing out to try to discredit her and many of the other independent scientists. I just want you to know that Dr. Magda Havas is a professor at Trent University. She has her Ph.D. in environmental science and is very well qualified and very well respected around the world. That is one point. A second point is when Mr. Bennett is saying that he is interested in the children and the welfare of children. This is everyone's utmost interest here, and we should not be doing anything that we don't know is safe. He is saying wait until it's proven. Health Canada says you can't prove a negative. That's one of their favorite sayings. We should not be doing something unless we can prove it's safe. Prove Wi-Fi is safe, and then I would be fully behind it. I'm not a Luddite. I use a computer. I am well read. I have read that this is dangerous. As many of the people have already pointed out today, electromagnetic radiation is around us everywhere. We should be reducing it, not increasing it. Just because parents are uninformed about cell phones doesn't mean that we should be exposing them even more through Wi-Fi.
I appreciate the call, Sharon. We're out of time. Thanks again for the call. I wanted to quickly get Paul's reaction.
Well, I think there's a lot been said about Dr. Magda Havas of Trent University, and if this proves to be a major concern, she'll be celebrated as a hero. I prefer to think that probably she's raising unnecessary concerns. And, in the past, she's been concerned about every type of electromagnetic field, from microwaves to laptops to cell phones. And I think her credibility is a bit thin. In fact, they were part of this expo called Whole Life Expo, entitled Our Toxic Marketplace, What Every Family Needs to Know. These are some of the people involved, and not Sharon. She's a very reasonable person. A lot of the people involved are what you might call paranoid.
Dr. Paul Bennett, thanks for your time today and sharing it with us. And www.schoolhouseconsulting.ca is the website, and you can check out his blog as well.
Thank you.
Thanks. Have a great afternoon.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Dr. Paul Bennett joining us on the line from Halifax. Thanks to all our guests and callers on this very contentious issue. Coming up next,